Oh,
Yeah, let's
you
reenact.
got good
this real
storage on
cool.
this phone.
I think so.
Then go to Busch Gardens.
We could tap
Oh,
out.
Busch Gardens.
Tap out phones.
Ah,
Ride
the Big Bad Wolf.
Never forget the
Oh, Big Bad Wolf.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Never ever.
that was my favorite.
Gettysburg's a staple. It really is. I'll never forget that. I'll never like just.
see this,
I can
see
put
this,
myself
boys?
back there.
This is the battlefield.
Yep.
All right, let's go at the Big Bad Wolf.
Yeah. See, this is where 280,000 people died.
I felt so cool with the pop gun. Now looking back, I'm like, that was just a PVC.
But, you know, no, remember
wine
that
cork,
no,
right?
but
Yeah.
you remember when we were Chad and Lee?
Yeah,
Chad and Lee, right?
Yeah, Chet, yeah.
And then they're in the back seat, and this woman passed you, flicking you off.
Oh, yeah, we got to, like,
shoot the
yeah.
ball. We went,
Yeah.
He's trying to like
Got
shoot
to
her with
flick
guns.
her off.
Yeah. Remember that? Okay, last story. Remember we were at Seven Springs with Chad and Lee,
Yeah.
and we
Chad and Lee,
and we.
right? I haven't.
Yeah.
You remember that? And then we went up on stage and we did the whole like
311.
gun,
Right.
or like guitar solo, like with all those
Uh-huh.
inflatable guns or whatever.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like, I was like, yeah, go out and do like, so, and we just started hitting each other.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, hitting each other.
and then
Chad
you
and
ended,
Lee,
like
yeah.
someone gave us like $20.
Yeah. I was like, we're rich. Got 20 bucks.
Rich.
All right, good times. Good times.
Okay. You take a sip.
I did.
Describe all the places that you've lived and which has been your favorite.
All the places I've lived.
And you can't
Or
say
maybe just describe your
yeah,
favorite.
yeah,
Just describe your favorite place you've lived.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You can't say Oakland.
I've lived in a lot of places and gone to a lot of schools. That would be a good question. All the schools I went to. Quickly. Oh, shit. Yeah, schools. I went to Rogers School for kindergarten, went to St. Raphael's in Morningside, St. Gregory's in Evans City, Montelitzin in Baden. And junior high, I went to Seneca Valley Junior High for 2 years, then Quigley High School, Kentucky, Duquesne. A lot of schools. So I had to make friends wherever I went.
That's why you know so many people.
Places to live. Jackson Street was cool growing up, just because it was a city. I was a city kid. I loved it. I hated the farm.
Just like
Hated
Ruby.
everything about
Yeah,
Cranberry
yeah.
Township and the whole bit. Even though I had a lot of fun, you know, Paul Dorsch primarily growing up, and just we lived in the woods. We don't, God, we on summer times we'd just meet in the woods, grab a thing of bread, thing of hot dogs, and we'd matches. We always had a pen, knife, and matches. And you just, you know, dick around in the woods, and you're hungry, start a fire. You know, whittle a stick, roast, you know, hot dog with some bread, and you know that was it.
Off you
You
went.
just have at it. You know, it was, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
It was a packing a knapsack and wrapping on it. You just grab some bread, grab some hot dogs, you went off. You went.
So you're a city. You like to live in the
But I
city.
did like the city. I did. I used to enjoy going
Steve
back.
kid.
I stayed at Delaney's a lot and hang out there and hang out in the old hood, Morningside, and see all my old friends. And that was always a good time.
Did you have any pets growing up?
We did have a shitload of pets.
Besides all the cows and the
Yeah.
horses.
Oh,
Farm.
Like,
Trina and Dutch, or German Shepherds, they were probably the most popular too. And we had a bunch of dogs that, you know, that died. That never were as good as Trina and Dutch. Dutch was just the best dog. He had a lot of Zeus qualities about him. He was very protective,
Yeah.
extremely protective. He was a former police dog. And he was just the best guard dog you ever wanted in your life.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let anybody out of their car. Yeah.
What kind of dog?
He was a German Shepherd. Yeah.
All right, so we talked about all the siblings. How would you describe yourself as a kid?
That was a whack job. I had a temper. I was always going high octane. You know,
You woke up, he was like,
fidgety, couldn't sleep. You know, take me forever. You know, I had a lot of Brendan's qualities and Ruby's,
Sound like
where I would stay up. I was constantly under everybody's feet asking questions.
Go. Let's
I
go.
mean,
Yeah, I'm telling
yeah.
you, it sounds
No, there's a lot of that code. You see code?
I mean,
a lot of that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
You
you
know,
ever
jumping,
fall
I couldn't
asleep?
stand still. If I stood next to the table long enough, something would fall off without me touching it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor used to fall.
They used to say, if you stood next to a chair long enough, a leg would fall off, you know? And it just, I was constantly climbing, doing it. If I saw a tree, I was up it, I was, you know, constantly running off. Remember, we were talking about vacations. We'd go to Ocean City, the one thing I'd always do, and I was only, you know, a kid, young kid, I would rent, as soon as we got there, rent a bike, yeah, my mom, rent a bike. We'd have to go right away and rent a bike. And I would get on the bike and I would just take off. There was no helmet or anything. I would take off and I would,
just like baseball. Zoom. I'll be back for dinner.
I would fly on a bike around, check the whole area out. And as soon as I got back, they'd say, you know, so where's the, right down here.
Yeah, down.
Where was it?
Yeah.
And I was only like
He went-
7
yeah.
years old. And I knew where the ice cream stand was,
Yeah.
knew where the boardwalk was, knew where all the, you know, restaurants.
Oh my god.
It's just so
Well, that's the thing. Like, I remember too, like just being somewhat like able to go off and venture out, but
Yeah, people didn't worry about you.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so whacked out.
yeah I was a little nut.
Any more favorite childhood memories?
Oh, got a million.
All time fave. Just being a whack job.
Yeah, I mean, all-time favorite childhood memories.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
God, I think, yeah, childhood is like I said, there was some
Yeah,
different
yeah,
lives from
yeah.
the city. I just loved being able to walk up to Satins and buy penny candy and, you know, and stealing milk jugs and taking them up to Satin and then getting a nickel for them to buy more penny candy, and then they put the milk jugs back out in the back porch. We'd run around, grab them, and bring them back in again.
Okay, so this is Ruby. It's
yeah.
Gaming.
I mean, yeah.
Anything to buy more candy.
And
There
like-
was nothing
and like
better than
cranberry.
Christmas on Jackson Street.
Christmas on Jackson
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah, it was incredible. Nana just, and Pap couldn't understand it because his Christmases growing up were nothing.
Yeah.
He got like an orange or an apple for Christmas, and that's no lie. I mean, they didn't have anything, but he couldn't understand all the presents and stuff. And Nana always had, you know, whatever you wanted when you were a little kid, you know.
Well, she took Christmas very seriously. Was that always like that?
Always.
Did Nana grow up like more like Papa was pretty poor growing up? Was Nana?
They're very poor.
Yeah, Nana was too. I was just wondering because you said her dad would dress up real nice all the time.
No, he always looked, but that was an Irish thing. Even in Ireland, you'd see guys on the side of the road digging a ditch, and they had a three-piece suit on, and it was a wool suit, you know, and they're working, and they always had, you know, were dressed up. Thank you. You know, and a tie on or whatever, and it was like if you see some of the old Irish, you know, movies and things like that one that was just out. You know, about the two guys.
Oh, Banshees of
Right.
Inisherin.
If you look at that, they're all dressed up.
Yeah.
And they were like that from the time they were, because there was a pride thing
Yeah.
back in that time that you didn't want to look like a tinker,
Yeah.
you know. And Grandpa John was just a handsome man,
Yeah.
just really stunning, handsome man. I just thought he was just the best looking dude in the world when I was a kid.
What is the first major news story that you remember living through?
First major news story living through. First thing that popped in my head was the lunar landing, which was incredible, landing on the moon.
That would
Did
be
you go outside and
wild.
try to look?
Prior to that, the first thing that I ever recall is the Kennedy assassination. Not that I recall it happening, but it was such an impact on the Irish Catholic community, we had a picture of Jesus Christ, Sacred Heart of Jesus Christ in our hallway. Right next to it was a picture of John F. Kennedy. And so growing up, there was these two figureheads, and that's the reverence that Kennedy had in our household anyway. And it was like that guy. So
Yeah.
from the time you grew up, you knew who John F. Kennedy was. First Irish Catholic president.
That would be nuts.
Yeah. And so I knew that thing, but it happened during my life. But
How did you find out? I guess.
Who's that? Well, that's the
Yeah.
Sacred Heart of Jesus. Who's that? John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, he's gone.
Do they live together? Yes.
Now they
In the
do.
house of
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Moving on, yeah.
Okay, let's see. What?
And then Marilyn Monroe was in that. Yeah.
She's there somewhere.
What were your favorite things to do as a child? / did you play any certain games you saw play? What were you interested in as a child? Which we kind of talked
Yeah,
about
if you're
already.
like into history.
History.
Well,
in
the
woods.
big game we used to play was kick the stick in the back alley. And first base was a telephone pole. Home plate was a sewer that was right
The
in the middle
saddest
of the street.
Kick the stick.
Second base was always you had to get
How
a
do
piece
you
of chalk
play?
and draw it, or you had to put a piece of cardboard down or paper. And then third was a fence post on our neighbor's yard. And we used to put a stick on your foot and you threw it in the air and you ran to first base. And the person who was the pitcher had to catch a stick, run back to where the mound was. It wasn't a mound, but it was just a circle. And you had to touch the circle, and if you touched it and said out before the person reached the base, they were out.
Ah.
So it was a game that, I don't know if we invented it.
Should we
but
play tomorrow?
we could.
Clever.
Should we play
Kick the
kick the
stick.
stick tomorrow?
Take the stick.
That's fun.
That is fun.
We played that. We played a lot of freeze tag. A lot of it tag. We were always having to be outside. We grew up. There was no staying inside.
No.
You did not stay in the house. You were out. You were outside.
Yep. No TVs.
Yeah. We used to play banshees, the Dorshes, when we got older out in the farm. That was our big game. Banshees every summer night. Night like this, we were playing banshees. And Banshee was a group of people would, play against another group of people, and they'd run out and hide, and the other ones had to go find them. When you found the one person, they had to go back on their own. And then finally, you have to call Ollie in for you because you couldn't find the other person wherever he was, but you had to hunt them in the night.
Oh.
No flashlights, and
No.
no.
Thanks.
That's terrifying.
It's like ghost
Deer
in the
hunter.
neighborhood.
That's
Yeah.
I have a big scar on my leg from I ran over to one.
Hey,
Hey, stop it. Odin. Peggy, Hey, Odin.
Odin. Enough.
Stop
Enough.
it. Hey,
Enough.
get over here. Come here. Odin, come here.
Enough.
Odin. Odin.
Odin. You know all the people in here.